Hello, family. I wanted to talk about basically the book that Gideon and Olivia Sampson have just brought out. One that we're working on at the moment and editing. It's almost ready. This is the book here, The War Within. Obviously, you can see it back to front. Beautiful cover. Beautiful back. All right, so this book, as discussed before, it talks about many different spiritual aspects of our life, and a couple of topics that it talks about. I'm gonna read directly from the book, Sex and Pleasure, which I think is really important. I'm going to do some videos on sex and pleasure, sexual covenant, and holy sex. So explaining the misconceptions with sex and also the benefits and dangers if you do it in the right way. So, right, sex and pleasure. All right, so I'm going to read. This is from the book, and I hope everyone picks this up at some point. Right, so because it's got a lot of high-level spiritual information that will really benefit your life if you decide to embark on that journey. All right, so sexual immorality is anything to do with unclean sex. Okay, so sex is good, but the motive in which it occurs, the activity occurs, is very important. Okay, so from the spiritual aspect, sex is a spiritual connection, and the spiritual destination should not be without the love of God. So anything you do, it should still be with the love of God when you engage in it. The love of God cannot be rated from the pleasure of the flesh, because God is spirit and truth. Sex should occur because there is truth and a spiritual journey with your partner. Okay, the love of God is life, and that life becomes a human baby. All right, so sex, as commanded from our Creator, is to go out into the world and multiply. That's what we're meant to do. We're meant to find our wife, and then we're meant to have children and create angels on earth. But if you see people who sleep around or like have multiple partners or pick a bad seed, then you end up creating, people that are going to be grown up with issues, problems, and unable to cope with the system, and then will add more issues to it. So this is your thoughts transform into energy. So when you think of a moral or lustful thoughts to create a baby, that baby becomes a tool for a moral purpose. So everything we do has an effect, like spiritually, how we think when we have sex, how we have sex, who we have sex with. It's all important. It's important to understand that sexual immorality is not just limited to physical actions. It also includes our thoughts and our intentions behind it. So you could be at home thinking about all different things, thinking it doesn't really affect you, and it does, because nothing's created. It's always you think of it first before you create it, or you imagine it before you create it. So it's really important that you keep yourself pure, to not think about certain things, not focus on pornography and these sort of things, because that is what you're programming your flesh to become. So you'll be more inclined to watch pornography. The more you do it, you're more inclined to do it, and especially in the way that you're doing it, it's like an immoral way. It has no benefit whatsoever to you, spiritually or physically. Right, and it says, in order to maintain a pure and wholesome spiritual connection, it's crucial to cultivate a healthy view towards sex and relationships. So this means being mindful of the reasons why we engage in sexual activities, and it aligns with our values and beliefs. So, ultimately sex should be a beautiful and sacred experience, which brings us closer to our, basically to God and to our partners. And by approaching it with respect and reverence, we can create a fulfilling spiritual journey that enriches our lives and strengthens our connection with the divine. A man and a woman coming together is the image of God, done in the right way. But obviously there's a lot of, I feel like a lot of women obviously go by their emotions and the desires. The same with men as well. Men are lust after women. But if you're just going with any old partner and things like that, or you're having multiple partners, or you've got multiple children with different dads, it really causes havoc, not only in your life, your kids' life, but also, in the future with the what the things that you want your children, you want them to be the image of you. So what you do is important, and how you teach them. So yeah, sex is a good thing if done in the right way, with the right partner, with your holy partner, with your wife, someone that you want to be with, that you know you're going to be with together forever. But it's down to us, and it's really important, because all I ever see is people blaming their partners or whatever for having a bad relationship. But it's down to us to pick the right partners. That's why you have to really get to know someone before you commit fully. I know that's also difficult, but there's a lot of tests. You can test by their upbringing, how they're, are their parents still together? That's really important, because it shows how they were brought up. And, so you're trying to gauge whether this person is going to be the right person for you forever, whether she's going to be the mother of your kids. And that's a really important job. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but the world is being confused into, the roles are being reversed. A man's meant to be a man, right? And it's built in a certain way with certain characteristics to do certain tasks. And a woman is built in a certain way to be nurturing and to care for children and to support her husband, to uplift him, and together we're meant to become one, like one person in the image of God. So it's really important. And so that's the video on that. It's this book, War Within. There'll be many more books anyway on this type of subject, and I'll be doing more videos on different topics that are in the book. Okay, so thank you, much love, God bless, and have a wonderful evening.